Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you've been here, hello, my name is Jess. If you have been here before, thank you for coming back. Welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be speaking about my biggest tip for doing well at university. And when I say doing well, I specifically mean getting really good marks at university. So just for some context, so that you know who I am and you know that I didn't get 20% at university. But I did my undergrad between 2016 and 2018. I did a BCom in politics, philosophy and economics. So that means that I did a lot of subjects, like all the BCom subjects, so accounting, economics, maths, stats. And then I did philosophy subjects and then also subjects within politics. So I was in both the commerce and the humanities faculties, which I know are both very different types of thinking. The mathsy subjects are like, it's either right or it's wrong, and then the other one is more subjective. The humanities subjects is more subjective. So yeah, just for some context, and then I did my honors in economics in 2019, and I graduated with distinction. And then like with regards to my marks, the rest of the time, with like my BCom subjects, I was always like 70s and 80s, and then with politics they were like 260s, but like the rest was all 70s. So yeah, like average I just was under a distinction for my whole undergrad. But yeah, so I'm just gonna be sharing with you how I did well. I'm only gonna be sharing with you one like big tip. There's probably tons of other ones, but this is the one which I feel like really helped me. And then I also just want to say, I know I was like, I'm only going to share one tip, but I also want to give you like a prerequisite. And that is, it's okay to fail something at university. It's even okay to fail a module. So if you are in that situation and you're like, oh my gosh, there's no hope for me, like it's the end of the world. It's not about that. Honestly, I know people who have failed. I know I failed about 3 tests in my whole university career, and like in high school I just never failed anything, so that was a bit of a shock to me. And now honestly, failing a test is so irrelevant. So it's like, it's just a tiny little thing. So for you, if you failed something, you may be thinking, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. It's like, it's not the end of the world. It's actually quite good to fail something, because it's an indication that you need to change what you're doing, because currently the way that you're handling things is not serving you, and you need to do something different in order to fix that. So I do just want to say, like, don't just give up and be like, oh well, that's the end of me, like I can't do this anymore. Say like, okay, I'm in this situation, what can I do to turn this around? And that's something that you can take on in the rest of your life, like not just giving up, but actually coming up with, like, solving your own problem. So my biggest tip on how to do well at university is to speak to the people in your class and reach out for help. So I know at high school it tended to be, well, I think from my perspective it was more like everyone kind of focused on their own life. There wasn't all that much collaboration. You were kind of just like in your own little body doing your own work, and then I guess you could have a tutor and maybe speak to the teacher by themselves. But I don't really remember like meeting up with my friends and discussing stuff with them that much. But now when I was at university, that just had to completely change. I realized pretty quickly that if I didn't speak to people or ask for help, I wasn't going to get those answers. So sometimes, say if you've been given a homework assignment, say like a maths assignment, here, do this quiz or this test. For me, I would try to do it by myself, and then if I was struggling with it, I wouldn't just sit there and think, oh well, like I can't do this. Well, I wouldn't just like focus on, oh, let me try get resources on the internet. I would speak to the people in my class, like speak to every person in my class, say, how did you get this? What did you do? And then I guess also speak to the lecturers. And so you may be wondering, like, how do you just reach out to people? How do you ask, like, how do you reach out to people, especially if you're online now? Like, I know the whole university situation is very different now to what it was in the past. Like maybe it's more difficult to make friends because it's all online. And I would say like if you're on a WhatsApp group or something like that, like go through it and choose a few people that seem motivated, maybe even people who post in that WhatsApp group. I'm saying like a WhatsApp group specifically obviously linked to, say if you're in the economics class and there's an economics group, go through the economics WhatsApp group and choose a few people, or choose a few people who've been like outspoken in the group and send them a message and say like, hey, how are you finding economics? And then speak to them specifically, and you can like ask them questions or even just voice aloud like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what's going on in this subject. But I think when you do this type of thing, I would really encourage you to don't go in with a take attitude. Go in with an attitude of like, you are also willing to help. You have some knowledge, they have some knowledge, and you're willing to pass that knowledge on. And also if they teach you something, you should be open to teaching somebody else that. So yeah, like I really would recommend reaching out to people, because I think it's better to reach out to the people in your actual course, because it's like those people are in the system and those people have lived it, they've gone to the lectures, you're all kind of in the same flow and you all have been told the same sort of thing and you're all thinking in the same way. And I feel like that's just different than if you look to an external person. They don't really know the system as much. They are, even if they do know the system, they aren't necessarily in the system. And so that's why I just feel it's better if you ask somebody who is doing the actual subject. And also if you ask someone who actually also wants to do well. So say that we have an economics test coming up. If I speak to someone who also is studying for the economics test, they're probably putting a lot of effort and energy into that. And so it makes more sense for me to, because it's like by them helping you, they are helping themselves, because now they will know more for the test. But if you speak to somebody outside of the university, like they aren't that invested in it, they don't really care, like they don't have to write the test, so they're not necessarily going to go jump through a million hoops, just from my experience. And like also if you speak to someone in your class, like that doesn't cost anything, it's free. I mean, unless you come to an agreement of, I mean, like that's the thing, I don't think you should just take, like it's not right to just take, but if there's some sort of reciprocation, I feel like that's really important. And then if you can't like reach out to anyone in your class, like also reach out to your lecturer. The thing is that your lecturer probably wants to help, but they can't help if you're not going to ask them questions. So you may be thinking, oh, what happens if my question is stupid or whatever? And like again, it's like there's no stupid questions, but it's like it, you know, like rather just reach out and ask that question is probably not even stupid, because then at least you can actually try to do well in the test. Like if you don't know the answer, like you're gonna get that wrong in the test anyway, so you might as well just confirm. And I don't think like lecturers sit there like, oh, that's a stupid question or whatever. They're just happy that you're actually having an interest and you want to do well, like showing that you want to do well. I feel like the person who knows absolutely nothing but is okay with that and is asking questions, it's a person who's going to learn a whole lot more than someone who semi-knows stuff and doesn't really know other stuff but is too scared to actually reach out and get those answers. So I feel like it's best to honestly say, I don't know anything, and like reach out and try and learn and get things. But then, as I say, once you've got that knowledge, share it with other people. Don't be like, oh, well, I have this knowledge and I'm better than everyone. And then with regards to like how to go about reaching out to someone, so I did say like go through your WhatsApp group and just send them a message. And you may have this impression of like other people are scary people and they don't want to help, but that's just not the case. Like look at your own life. If somebody were to send you a message saying, hey, how are you finding economics or politics or whatever, how are you finding engineering? Are you going to be like, oh, like, why are you sending me a message? Or are you actually going to reply, oh my gosh, I have no idea, I have no idea what's going on? Or like, oh, like, yeah, like, I know what's going on. Or are you going to be somebody who's actually going to help the person? If you aren't the type who's going to help the person, I would say like ask yourself why that is. Like, why do you just want to hold all this knowledge for yourself? Like, don't you get some sort of gain in helping people? But I feel like, in my experience, most people are really nice and friendly. And all it starts is like, hey, how are you doing? Like, how do you find the subject? And then once you've spoken to that person, it just really helps to have a network. And especially if they're doing the same course as you, like, you can help each other a long time into the future. So like for me, completely, like my marks and like my distinction in honors year, I owe that to the people in my class, because I didn't just do it alone. I reached out, and like I had friends who also would like try help me. I would try help them. It was like a group effort. It wasn't just like me doing my degree by myself. They really reached out and like helped me, and vice versa. So with like maths example, I remember in my honors year, we were given like these homework assignments, and like I would do the assignment by myself, but then afterwards I would like check with my friends and say like, how did you do this? Or like, oh, I can't do this one, how did you do this one? And then like this is where you might be thinking, oh, is it like collaborating, or is it cheating? So you maybe like that's the thing is, lecturers say like you can't reach out to people, like, or they like, you can't cheat, like make sure that it's your own work, which like I get it, but I feel like there's a difference between collaboration and cheating. So this is what cheating is. Oh, hey Carly, so the assignment's due tomorrow, can you just send me your answers quickly? Okay, cool. Okay, let me just quickly write the answers. Okay, thanks, bye. Here's my assignment. That's cheating, because I'm literally just copying her answers. This is what collaboration is. I've got the assignment coming up. Let me see. Let me try do this. This is quite difficult. Let me try do it. Okay, like I'm really stuck on this particular question. Carly, can we like exchange answers? So can I show you my answers and vice versa? Okay, here's mine. Okay, cool. So I see like with B, you got this and I got this. I feel like my answer's incorrect, but what did you do over here? Oh, okay. So you did this, this, and this. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Now I know for the test. I know that I need to do that. Okay, let me do my own answer. Let me see if I've got it. Okay, cool. I've got the same answer as you. Like that's collaboration. Like if you see what I just did. It's like, it's okay to compare answers to your friends if you are actually teaching yourself it. So when you go to the test, like you know how to do it, and you know that when you hand it in that work, it's your own work, because you know that you can actually do it. So yeah, just definitely keep that in mind. So that's all for this video. As I say, like there's tons of different things that you can probably do in order to do well at university, but this for me is just the biggest one. Reach out to people, speak to people, understand that you can't pass. Like I don't know how people pass university without speaking to anyone or just doing it by themselves. Like I just feel like it's impossible. And I feel like if you are somebody who is currently doing that strategy, like maybe consider your marks could improve. Even if you're getting like 90%, maybe you could get 95% if you opened your mouth and like collaborated with people and asked them questions. And again, like just always remember that people are so nice and friendly, and most people want to help. And if you don't believe that, look at yourself and see like, do you want to help? Because if you want to help others, I'm pretty sure there's others out there who also want to help. So thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, please subscribe down below, and please share this with anyone you feel would benefit from this. Maybe someone who's in university at the moment and is struggling. I'm sure they could really benefit from this advice. And yeah, I'll see you next week with a new video. Bye guys!